Major Chris Anuforo was one of the 7 majors that planned and executed the first military coup that took place in Nigeria in January 1966. This video narrates his birth, parentage, education, and his actions in the coup. We also narrate how his life was ended. Welcome to your favorite channel back in history, and do remember to click the subscription button if you've not already done so. Chris Anuforo, popularly known as Chris Anuforo, held the prestigious position of Staff Officer at the Nigerian Army Headquarters, Lagos, at the time of his participation in the January 1966 coup. His prime position in the army made it easy for him and his confederates to plan the coup for months without being uncovered. Most of the coup plotters were occupants of sensitive positions in the army, and this made things pretty easy for them. They gave themselves clearance and passes and were able to reach their targets with ease. Anuforo was one of the majors assigned to cover the Lagos flank of the coup. He was assigned to arrest Lieutenant Colonel Ato Onebe, Colonel Kor Mohammed, and others. He indeed arrested them successfully and thus fulfilled his initial task in the coup plot. But do you know what? Anuforo killed all his captives. History records that he shot and killed Lieutenant Colonel Ato Onebe and Colonel Kor Mohammed. These were very highly respected military officers of the Nigerian army. The report of the Nigerian Police Special Branch investigation of the coup describes Anuforo as the most ruthless of all the soldiers that took part in the coup. When Major Humphrey Chukwuka brought his boss, Lieutenant Colonel James Palm, to the officers' mess alive, Anuforo was not happy with him. He asked why Humphrey brought him alive. Humphrey said that he was not ready to spill blood, and Anuforo was extremely angry with him. Anuforo is recorded as being the one that brought out Lieutenant Colonel James Palm and shot him to death. It is also reported that it was Anuforo that killed Finance Minister Festus Okotie-Eboh. Indeed, Major Chris Anuforo had eliminated several persons in the coup in Lagos. But the coup failed, and Anuforo and his co-conspirators were arrested and detained. First at Kirikiri Maximum Prison, and later on they were separated to other prisons across Nigeria so as to avoid another conspiracy by them from within the prisons. It was indeed a terrible moment for Nigeria as a young independent nation. Nigeria was barely 6 years old from the grant of independence from Britain. Chris Anuforo was born in 1938. At the time of the coup in 1966, he was only 28 years old. His full name was Christian Igbomba Anuforo. He was from the then eastern region of Nigeria. He grew up in Kaduna and attended St. John's College, Kaduna. It was at Kaduna in St. John's College that he met Major Chukwuma Kaduna Nzeogu. Both of them later joined the army and got promoted to their same rank as majors. When the plan was hatched to stage a coup against the First Republic of Nigeria, Anuforo and Nzeogu could easily align their thoughts. Anuforo was trained at home and abroad. He attended the prestigious Royal Military Academy Sandhurst and received his commission in 1961. He returned to Nigeria and was posted to a number of military formations. When the coup failed, Anuforo was arrested along with his co-conspirators. He was detained at Kirikiri Maximum Prison in Lagos and was later removed from Kirikiri and taken to Federal Prison, Benin, in present-day Edo States. He was not tried by the Ronsi regime. He waited in prison in expectation of whatever would be the decision of that regime. While the waiting continued, Ironsi's regime was toppled in yet another military coup. This was the second military coup in Nigeria. The coup was planned and executed by military officers and men from the northern region of Nigeria. It was a revenge coup executed in retaliation for the massacre of Northern soldiers and senior politicians in the January coup. The Northern soldiers saw the January coup as a coup against the North in view of the names of the majority of the persons that took part in the execution of the January coup and the names of the persons that were killed. In July of the same year, the Northerners struck and killed the head of state, General Agui Ironsi. Other persons were also killed, and a new regime was formed, headed by a Northerner by name Lieutenant Colonel Yakubu Gowon. Like Ironsi, Gowon did not also try the executors of the second military coup in any military court-martial. This may not be unconnected with the fact that Gowon was the principal beneficiary of the second military coup, having emerged as the head of state of Nigeria. At this time, the plotters of the first military coup, including Chris Anuforo, were still in prison and yet to know their fate. They thought they would be tried by a special court-martial to be constituted by the Gowon government. Anuforo also thought he would be tried, but he was wrong. He never knew what was awaiting him in prison. He could not even imagine it. Even the prison officials could not imagine it too. But something unconventional was in the air and just about to happen in a matter of time. 1 month after the revenge coup, precisely in August 1966, soldiers said to be from the northern region of Nigeria broke into the prison in Benin and fished out Chris Anuforo. It is reported that he was severely beaten by the soldiers and grievously wounded. Done with the beatings, the soldiers led him to a corner of the prison, dug a grave, pushed him in, and buried him alive. It was a shocking sight to many, but it happened. This was the end of the life and career of Major Chris Anuforo of the Nigerian Army. Anuforo was the first of the 7 coup plotters to be killed. His colleagues who were in other prisons did not suffer the same fate with him, though they also eventually died, but in various ways. None was buried alive like Anuforo. Anuforo was married to Henrietta Ada Anuforo. As noted earlier, Anuforo was only 28 years old when he took part in the coup and still 28 years old when he was killed. His participation in the coup brought an end to his career in the Nigerian Army. Thanks for watching this edition of Back in History, and do remember to subscribe to this channel or follow the page for regular notification on every new video. I am your friend and host Ekemini Udim, wishing you the best of time in all you do.